Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to contain many different connections, not just to the prequels and the originals, but also Star Wars Legends, also known as the Expanded Universe, by director J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and even George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is, of course, going to have many of those connections that will be used as a way in order to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in this story, from start to finish of the plot of this film. That's truly going to change how we view the past 8 Star Wars films that come before this one. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that this movie is very important to Disney and Lucasfilm, and these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, and when it all comes down to various shot descriptions of the upcoming film of Episode 9 by JJ, this is where things begin to get very intense for this movie. Now, specifically, a description of a sequence where it's explained that Rey is piloting a ship that belongs to the First Order that she stole from their fleet, where she is said to be flying back to the world of Ahch-To, where Rey began her journey to becoming a Jedi and in tune with the Force itself. It's explained that she eventually lands the ship in the same exact spot as she did in The Force Awakens, where she eventually is said to step foot on the island and travels back up to the First Jedi Temple, where she eventually goes to the Caretaker's Museum that is said to hold many relics that Luke collected over the years, as well as relics of ancient Jedi. It's explained that Rey eventually comes across a strange-shaped holocron, where she picks it up off of a shelf on the stone wall, where the holocron is said to be dubbed as Mara Jade's Jedi Holocron. It's unclear if Mara Jade is or was Luke's wife or even perhaps a student under Luke's new Jedi Academy, under Disney's new version of the canon material for the character of Mara Jade. However, the holocron is said to glow in a blue hue that pulses as Rey holds the device, where she eventually is said to place it back on top of the shelf. Now, this is where it's explained that Luke's Force Ghost is said to appear holding Anakin's lightsaber in his right hand and examining it after Rey discarded it. Now, it's explained that this is where Luke gives Rey a final lesson in the third act of the film to take down Sidious once and for all. Now, what's really exciting about this is that we do know that Episode 9 is going to pay great respect to the EU, also known as Star Wars Legends, which honestly holds a handful of fan-favorite characters from, of course, many years ago, from the 1990s into the early 2000s. And I think what they're really trying to do is they're really trying to draw back in the hardcore fans who are very much in tune with the Star Wars universe and are trying to really just kind of realize that the fans are really what provide the repeat viewings and the repeat ticket sales that really add up to a great box office result, right? It's one of the great reasons as to why The Force Awakens did a lot better than The Last Jedi, and of course may even do better than that of The Rise of Skywalker, depending on what they do with this movie. So one of the pieces that I do want to go over is, of course, how Rey travels back to Ahch-To. Now, this makes a lot of sense because a couple of months ago we went over how one of the sets that were used was actually the set of Ahch-To, and a lot of fans were always wondering exactly what that meant. You know, we do know that there will be flashbacks in this film, but in present time, Rey is going to travel back to the iconic world of the sequel trilogy where Luke Skywalker resides. Now, as she travels back, she comes across a Jedi holocron that is said to have once belonged to Mara Jade. Now, Mara Jade could or could not be Luke Skywalker's wife. It could be that Disney and Lucasfilm are changing the character as we speak and are changing how the character is going to be used in the new canon material. Instead of him, having a wife, it could very well be that Mara Jade was his best student, for all we know, under his new Jedi Academy. It would also match up with the rumors that we've been hearing about of Disney Plus containing a brand new live-action TV series that would center on the character of Mara Jade, so you can really see how all the dots are starting to connect here of what Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to do with The Rise of Skywalker. It's not just a film that's going to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself, but it's also a film that's going to be used as a foundation to create something new that the fans have never seen before in the Star Wars franchise, and really bringing Star Wars in a different direction after Episode 9 releases come this December of this year. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that Ahch-To, J.J. Abrams wanted to experiment with this world a little bit more in The Rise of Skywalker, since he really only got to use and experiment with that world so little in The Force Awakens, if you think about it. He really only got to really use maybe 5 minutes tops, maybe even less than that, of the world of Ahch-To in The Force Awakens, and now the fact that we are coming back to that world echoes, of course, what Luke Skywalker did in the originals, where Luke travels back to Dagobah in Return of the Jedi after his first travel there over in the Empire Strikes Back timeline. So you can really see what they're trying to do. They're trying to insert a lot of parallels between Rey and Luke and what they did to go back to their master's home world. And that's what I like so much about this film so far, is that it is doing something different, but it's also applying the parallels of the past Star Wars movies that come before this one in order to truly make it feel like the culmination of the Skywalker saga. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.